Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm Christine, and I will be representing Group 4A. So I will be talking about how we think we can apply a solution that will help achieve a 2,000-watt society. So our solution is an app known as Evergreen. It's a catchy title, and we believe that our mission statement would be to consume better and to consume less. So the importance of this app will be explained later, but now I'll explain what the importance and significance of a 2,000-watt society actually is. So as you can see, most people are unaware of the idea of a 2,000-watt society, but it's very important. We've got to the stage where, when it comes to the environment, prevention is no longer a possibility. We've just got to regulate, for example, how much we want the atmosphere of the Earth to increase by, so 2 degrees Celsius. But that would require all of us to become 2,000-watt society citizens. So that is where our app comes in. But the app needs to be supported by a smart grid. So a smart grid is an electrical supply network that works using power plants and renewable and conventional energy suppliers, and they are then connected to a control center which regulates energy. Then you have smart meters which are in the individual's homes, and they allow them to manage their energy. The smart grids and some of their components exist in other countries, but they don't use them in the way we think the app could aid. So the importance of this one, smart grid, and its connection, if hopefully in Switzerland, because we feel like this is a country that is very forward in renewable energy, is it will allow the users and the producers to have a form of communication and allow users to actually be aware and take an initiative into their energy use. So the example we can use is a sunny day. So the control centers regulate energy by then deciding that since there's so much solar energy, we can afford to lose how much conventional energy we are using. This is greatly important, and the app would allow the dynamics to be observed and allow people to actually see the importance of regulating and using renewable energy and see how their difference would play a part. And then on a cloudy day, for example, if in Switzerland, you would expect that other renewable energy resources such as hydroelectric power would then take over the main share of energy supply. But we do have to remember that there will be cases where no renewable energy is available, and it will then have to rely back on conventional supply. So in terms of the app, this is just a visual representation of what we think the app could do and its capabilities. So the home screen would show you the tips, and those could be produced by either the users or the app itself. And then the app would then have different screens, and this would show energy usage, so the users could look and increase their energy efficiency and look at the quantity of energy they use. Then the certain levels of energy efficiency would be associated with points, and this point system would be very important because we need incentives. Everyone is aware, but how do we change that awareness into action? So those incentives could then build up to be rewards. So those rewards could be collected, and leaderboards could be created locally first, then nationally, then globally. And this would allow people to then compete and maintain their official energy usage. In terms of the next steps of the app, for us it's very important that we know now it's not possible to see the kinds of energy usage that you as an individual use. So when people use the app, they would have to look at their energy usage and then compare to the national average to see what the renewable energy usage is. In the future, with capabilities, we hope that as they improve, users would be able to see their own percentage of their renewable energy use. And then we want to create an app which allows people who live in the same families to be able to compete and regulate their energy just as well. But the most important thing we understand is a commercial world, and we need stockholders and stakeholders. So we understand they would be the ones that would be required to help us promote the app, and we would hope that we would promote it on maybe such like a social media platform, something like that, to get the awareness out. But the most important thing is that those stakeholders come from a variety of different sectors, and we have researchers from universities and other things who help us regulate and promote the app's use. Because it's very important we realize it's one thing to be aware, but it's another thing to act. So this Evergreen app is just your step into regulating how much you are able to act. So I just hope that even if our app takes a while to develop and reach the capabilities we think it can, you are still thinking about acting and not just your awareness. Thank you very much for listening.
So, welcome everybody. My name is Vincent, and I'm happy to take you through what my team for B and I have developed over the last few days. So, to get you started, we've prepared a little intro. Now that you're hungry for more, I'm happy to take you through. So we believe that every integrative solution to getting closer to a 2,000 watt society requires or has to address two main points. And these are awareness and action. You can think of that. What do we mean by action? Well, action is, you're enabling people to actually be energy efficient. You're paving the way for them. People have monetary and time constraints, but then you try to create a situation where they can yet contribute to 2,000 watt society. But that's not enough. You also need awareness. People need to know what is a 2,000 watt society and how can I help? How can I participate? And so what we did is we developed two strategies. One is more of an action plan, one is more of an awareness plan. And we hope that with these two strategies we can contribute and help the Swiss population and, of course, humanity to get closer to a 2,000 watt society. So let me just take you through. What is our action plan? Let's start with that. Let's get right to action. We thought about a small market intervention because the thing is, like 20 to 30% of the Swiss energy market, the Swiss energy production is used for warming houses. And 50% of the households that are warmed, 50% of that energy comes from oil. Comes from oil furnaces, and they're extremely inefficient. Like heating pumps are much more efficient, and also because they're much more efficient, their variable costs are lower. So in the long term, you pay less. But still, people do not replace oil furnaces with heating pumps. Why? Because the acquisition costs are just too high. I studied the semester of economics, and I just remember just enough to like say that's really a market inefficiency. Due to externalities. The thing is, for example, the oil pump, you use too much energy, you pollute the environment, but these costs, they're not tangible for the producers, so they're not reflected in the price. So the oil furnace is too cheap, the heating pump is too expensive, so we need an intervention. That's where we come in, because we want to put an agency between the private households and the sellers of the heating devices. And what they do, they buy the devices, they have economies of scale, they buy them in huge stocks, and then they rent them out to the private households. And that way you just pay like a monthly rate, which coincides in frequency with your salary payments, so you can afford that. And thereby we hope that we can really get a lot of people to change to heating pumps, to get the chance to change to heating pumps, so that we can save a lot of energy on the Swiss energy market. But then, as I said, you also need awareness. Okay, step 2. The question is, how do you incentivize people? How do you make them aware of something? And I want to say like the big keyword here is gamification, but you kind of took it. You kind of already took that away in your presentation. We thought about creating a competition. I mean, you heard it. You're all world champions. You're all competed in competitions, and you all won. So you know about the competitiveness of us humans. So how does that work? How does that competition work? Well, how do we get people's attention? Well, there's one thing they always have to look at when it comes to energy, and that's the energy bill. And that's how they look right now, a bit boring. And what we want to do together with the energy supplies, we want to redesign that. So that it looks like that. Now, first of all, you have energy saving tips that tell you, yeah, customized energy saving tips, of course. They tell you, yeah, you used a bit of that. Maybe like try to turn the light off more and stuff like that. And then, of course, you still need the actual, you consume such and such energy, and that needs to get, that you need to pay that amount. But we also want to have an analysis of your usage, and also, of course, how much you saved over the last year, maybe, and how much potential there is to save, what's the average, information like that. And then, last but not least, and that's the important part, here at the bottom we'll have a small advertisement for the Swiss energy competition. And if people are interested in that, and they will be interested in that, then they can register at our website. Now, we made a little dummy website. Yeah, sadly the quality is not so good, but bear with me. How does that look like? People will register here, and then their energy data gets uploaded automatically every quarter when the energy bill comes. And what you see here, on the left, it says how much energy you used over the last quarter, over the last year. And then our website calculates what kind of reduction is that to compare it when you signed up for a competition, to the year where you signed up. And then it ranks people by the relative decrease, because that's how you can rank people. Obviously, it's very difficult to rank absolute numbers throughout households, but we rank relative numbers. And then you can see, oh, like for example, Ellie here, she's really good. She's like number 300, top 3%, keep up the good work, that's great. Then the next aspect, how do we incentivize more? Well, you can connect with your friends. You see, there you have your friends and how they rank, and of course you want to be better. Let's be honest, you always want to be a bit better. So that's that. And last but not least, of course, if you live in Zurich, you might have different energy costs than if you live in some, I don't know, I come from Oberwil, which is a very small village, somewhere very right out in Basel, and we pay maybe a bit different. So, of course, you can enter your zip code, and then you compare it to like people who are comparable to you, like in your region. And also at the bottom, that's very important, you have a total counter, because people, they don't realize how much they can do with the little actions. So there's going to be a counter that shows how much Switzerland together has saved in energy. Oh, I see my time's up. I'm going to get really quick. How do we incentivize people? Well, the top 10% will get vouchers, attractive vouchers from our corporate sponsors. The top 5% of best households, they'll enter a lottery to win 50,000 francs. That's an incentive. Even for Switzerland, there are prizes and there's a lot of money. And also, if you want to increase your chances, you can form a team. And then your team has some challenges. And there you have really the peer pressure. Like if your team wants to do well, like everybody has to be there. So you have a lot of peer pressure. And we want to use every psychological trick there is to get to that 2,000 watt society. So that's really the end. It was a pleasure to talk to you today. It was a pleasure to meet you all during the last few days. So say how you are, and maybe check your mail in the next month. Who knows? It might be that your energy bill is already redesigned when you get it the next time. Thanks a lot, guys.